A good ball played in for Tony Morley. Oh, he's missed it! It is! Nick away! Villa in the lead!
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to the Villa Forever podcast. I am your host, Chad Williams. Please subscribe and give this video the thumbs up. Make sure to smash the like button. This is the Avfc weekly recap, your weekly dose of Aston Villa news and headlines. Yesterday at Stamford Bridge, it was a defeat for Aston Villa in the Premier League. Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0, and Aston Villa collapse against Chelsea. The bad run continues. And on this episode, I'm joined by Aaron Thornton, who is the host of the Football Brief, all the way across from the other side of the pond. Aston Villa are without a victory after 8 games, and the bad run carries on. And we must get ourselves out of this occurring habit, which keeps happening. And we're not as good as last season, and it's not good enough, and we're not being consistent. And whatever the problem is going on, we need to fix it. And 12th in the Premier League, well, 19 points, but it's somewhere this stage of the season where you don't want to be. And also, everybody is in a competition. You've got till tomorrow at midnight to enter the chocolate hamper competition. All you got to do is donate £2 and make sure to leave your email address. Then on Thursday, I'll be announcing the winner on the show. So good luck, everyone. It's a great time on the show, mate. How are you?
Mate, thank you very much. It's great to be back, sort of. I love being on the show, but I'm just getting very bored of coming on talking about Aston Villa losing yet again. So yeah, other than that, I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, you're not too bad, apart from yesterday.
I'm living the Christmas theme you've got going on.
Oh yeah, cheers.
This is good.
Also, my mum did the decorations, and my mate Jake Ashby created the brilliant graphics.
Oh wow, yeah, they're really well. They've done a good job. Really good job.
Thank you. Well, Aaron as well yesterday. Also another podcast show.
What were you on?
I was on a Total Sites podcast.
Oh, nice. A preview in Southampton.
Southampton game, yeah.
Wow, nice.
You haven't seen that episode, go and check that out. It's on their channel. And they're great people as well.
Nice. Are they? I mean, we can't really complain, can we? Especially, I mean, Southampton aren't doing great.
They're bottom at the moment, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's go. I'll check that out, mate, for sure. That sounds good.
Thank you. So let's talk about the Chelsea game then. So, what's your verdict from that game?
Again, another one. My verdict is just another one of disappointment. We're becoming a really soft touch, aren't we?
Yeah.
I have to be honest. When I predicted this game, again, this sounds negative. I did predict us to lose. However, like the previous few games, it's the manner of performance. I think we've got a real issue defensively right now. I think we're lacking leadership. You know, I know we've got Big John McGinn, who is our captain, and I love him as a leader, and I love everything about him. But even he seems quite quiet now, and I just think we're lacking some real communicators out there, and it's starting to show throughout the team. Just disappointing, really disappointing for me.
What it is as well, there don't seem to be like a plan B or like any structure at all at the moment.
No, we just lack. Yeah, the biggest thing that we had last season was our consistency and our sort of belief in the system that we were playing. Every player bought into it. Every player understood their sort of their mission for each game, and they all sort of bought into it as a collective. Whereas right now we just look really disjointed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of individual errors that are costing us. The fluidity seems to have gone. And like you just said then, we don't seem to have a plan B. Obviously, we know we like to play it from the back. And a couple of times yesterday, we did that quite nicely. But it's like we were speaking about last week. We need to shake it
Yeah.
up a bit. If we need to go direct, go direct. You know, let's try and like not be so obvious.
And tactically try something different. And like you said, a disjointed performance. I mean, we were completely bullied in that game. And these mistakes keep happening. And what's more frustrating as well, we're not learning from our mistakes.
No, we're not, and we're just making really basic mistakes as well. Like you go back to Tyrone Mings picking up the ball in the box, you go back to sloppy back passes, and then you look at yesterday with the back pass between Pau Torres and Martinez. Like, in what world? Like, I can't remember the last time I've ever seen that in a Premier League fixture, let alone Aston Villa doing it. It just seems that everything that sounds a bit dramatic. Everything that can go wrong or that we can
Yeah.
do to shoot ourselves in the foot, we're doing. Yeah, I was getting angry. Like, it's just frustrating. It's really frustrating. And the players
It
need
is.
to really take accountability now and need to step up. And you know, you look at last year. I remember the headline of Aston Villa's midfield bullies or dominates Chelsea's midfield. Chelsea's,
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, their multi-million, billion-pound midfield that we've completely destroyed. Well, yesterday they were good, and we looked like a shadow of our former selves.
I mean, where's the communication? You got that defence, but also from Martinez to the defence, they're not talking to each other.
No, and I don't know. I don't know whose responsibility is. Like, you know, when Tyrone Mings is on the pitch or he's a centre back, you know, he's very vocal. You can hear him, whether you're at the game, whether you're watching it on TV. You can always hear him shouting and barking. I don't see Luca Dean shouting. I don't see Pau Torres shouting. I used to see Cons as sort of shouting, but I feel like I've not really seen him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's come back fully fit yet. He doesn't look like he's the same Conza that started the season. And then obviously Matty Cash right back, who he always comes under a lot of stick. Didn't think he was awful yesterday, but he wasn't great. But again, a very quiet player. So like you said, all we've got is Martinez. But I mean, even he's not at his peak. You know,
Yeah.
that's another clean sheet gone yet again.
And also, I know that I know he got injured, but do you know how long Martinez is injured for?
I don't know.
But also, I do feel sorry for Olsen. Every time he plays, you always lose.
Yeah, look, Olsen's never going to be. Unfortunately for Olsen, he's arguably behind the world's number one, isn't he? So it's always going to
It's
be a
hard to
struggle
live
for him.
up to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was that angry at half time yesterday. Again, my wife seems to cop my my rash comment, but I said, do you know what? Get Hook Martinez, Hook Philogene. Who was the other one I was saying? Hook Watkins. I was
Yeah.
going off on one yesterday. I thought Martinez was poor. I thought he
I
was
agree. I
hesitant.
agree.
So I think these players now, whilst obviously I'd rather have Martinez in goal over Olsen every day, some of these players need dropping, and I think the danger is that they think they're undroppable, and it's not about trying to be harsh on them, but I think they need to really. It's almost like getting them out the firing line a bit. Like, let's reevaluate, let's reflect, because you're not keeping clean sheets right now. So bye bye for a bit. Watkins, I love you. You will never stop running, but you are not doing it at the minute. Like,
What it is,
maybe
a few times you would expect him to score yesterday.
just shoot. Yeah, just shoot.
Just go for it. Yeah. What it is,
Totally.
he didn't really put enough power into the shot.
It's this exactly that, Chad. It's this like hesitancy that's it's creeping into the game. Where like last season or a few games ago, when that ball's in a position, Ollie Watkins doesn't think twice; he just hits it. But it's like, oh, I don't know if I should. It's that like that hesitancy, and it's sort of like creeping throughout the whole team. It's like making that pass, make that pass quick, Tielemans, or make that pass quick, Rogers. Oh, I don't know if I should. It's just really, it's just really frustrating to watch. And again, that just shows the confidence levels at the minute.
I noticed yesterday as well. We got overloaded in the middle of the park, and Chelsea, they completely cut us open. And we know we play that very high line, but they exploited it yesterday.
Yeah, again, like every other team's been doing. We've been found out, haven't we? And I know that's cliche to say, but it was always a danger of. I mean, our high line's always been the subject of conversation since Emery's come in and he's adopted this high line. Whilst he does it very well, and the players seem to have adapted very well to it, it's always been the conversation of, it's a risk, or teams can really exploit this if they're good enough. Well, now teams are exploiting it, and we're just not. We're not at the races with it. So, yeah, I just think there needs to be some sort of rejigging of the formation, of the tactics slightly.
Tactics, one thing,
yeah. But Chelsea were good, and I've got Chelsea down as the. I mean, on Liverpool sort of debunking that right now, but I had Chelsea down as potential title winners. But I always thought they were going to be good this season.
With Maresca, I really like Maresca. The man I got expansive brand of exciting attacking football. I think this season, Chelsea are so much better.
Yeah, you're spot on, and I think as well, like you're right to touch on the manager and his tactics. Obviously, he's one of Pep Guardiola's acolytes, another one. But what I like about him, he seems to have. I know Chelsea have got this massive squad, but he seems to have sort of whittled it down to players that he wants to use, and he's just using that squad now. They look really good. They look organised. They look good, and they're only going to get better. They looked a bit shaky defensively. But I mean, we weren't going to exploit that because we're not good enough at the minute. But I think once they correct that, they're going to be a real force.
And Chelsea, the last few seasons, it's been a struggle for them. But I think now they're getting back to their best. They're getting back to their best.
Yeah, they are. They and the impression that I get from Chelsea from watching them, they're not even at full throttle yet. I feel like they've got a lot more levels to reach, and they're just sort of finding their way through, and that's the scary thing. So yeah, look, we came up against a very good Chelsea. I always thought it would be tough, but I'm just getting really bored of these limp performances that we keep producing. And like, okay, it's going to be a tough battle, but let's not bend over and bow down to Chelsea. Let's actually make a fight of it. We conceded straight away again. It's like once you concede that early on, the first goal, you're already making a bit of a mountain to climb for yourself, and it's just really frustrating. Like, yeah, I thought Philogene as well. I know the first goal, arguably he was fouled, and I mean, just get up, just be stronger. Like I thought he was poor all game, to be honest. And I don't want to single him out because a lot of players were poor, but I thought he was poor.
And defensively, we were too weak. And we're not very vulnerable. And what you said is a big communication problem at the back. There's no leaders there as well. No leadership at all.
What would you do, Chad? How would you correct that? If you're looking at that defense, what would you do?
Well, we could either maybe put Torre Mings maybe back in there. Maybe starting maybe Torres. You can try something defensively, maybe. Well, at least with Torre Mings. I mean, I know that he made that bad mistake against Club Bridge, but at least with Torre Mings there, he's a good leader at the back.
Yeah.
He's got better communication.
Yeah, I agree with that. No, that's not a bad shout. He's good aerially as well. I also think. Do we think we switch to a back five for like 2 or 3 games, just to sort of? It sounds a bit. I don't know. It sounds a bit weird, but like just to try and protect Martinez a bit. Let's try and aim to keep a clean sheet. Try and like stop this rut of conceding goals. Let's just try and like keep a real tight defensive block and build from there. Because right now, like you said, we're so disjointed between the defense midfield, which then isolates Ollie Watkins up front. I almost feel like we just need to lock off that defense a bit more, be a bit tighter, and then sort of use that as a foundation to push on from. And I think, bringing the likes of Tyrone Mings in, might help. I don't know how. I know Emery's very cautious with him and Buendia bringing them back, but I mean Kamara's straight back into the thick of it after his injury. So, I do think Buendia and Mings and players like that, just throw him in at this point now.
We need to do, I think, defensively, like go back to basics again.
Yeah.
And sometimes that works.
No, it does, yeah. Especially when you've got a team that's completely shot of confidence. Going back to basics might just help slowly rebuild that, and then we push on. I do think we'll get out of this rut. It's frustrating because we're not used to it. It's been a long time since you've had this, and you've sort of got to take the rough with the smooth. So again, there's always perspective to be had, but I just think we can be better. The players in that squad are better than they're showing, and it's just a really frustrating watch at the minute.
The thing is, for a Champions League team, what picked up in now, I think, you can really now see that the squad's looking tired. In the Champions League football, it's affecting them now, I think.
Spot on. Actually, there was a moment yesterday I was looking at the players. I think the ball got turned over. I think Tielemans made some like marauding run through, and it was his final ball wasn't quite good enough, or he got tackled or dispossessed at the last minute. Then it was a turnover, and the pace and power that Chelsea had pushing forward, but like you're watching the Villa players trying to get back, they look so leggy. And that was the first time I thought, I wonder if this is a toll of the Champions League and the various competitions that we're in. Which is, look, we knew what to expect this season, so I don't want to make excuses, but I agree with you. I do think there's some tired legs out there. Morgan Rogers epitomizes all of that. He looks tired, and I honestly think we should drop him. Not in a way of you've been bad, to drop him, but just
rest him.
Rest, exactly. Yeah, rest him. That's a better way of putting it. Rest him.
Well, I saw the Premier League table. What's interesting now is that Villa and Newcastle are both near each other, and they were both in the Champions League teams.
Yeah, and annoyingly as well, if you want to go a bit deeper into it, Newcastle and Villa, we were also dealt a bit of a blow with FFP. So like we've never really been able to compete on all fronts financially because we have this FFP deadline looming over our heads, whereas the likes of your Man Uniteds, your Chelseas seem to be able to navigate their way through it, but still can buy a load of players. I don't know. It just seems a bit dodgy, but I don't want to sound like I'm I'm looking for excuses, but I do think there's something to be said for it. And I mean, we are 12th, like you say, but again, I think we're still only 4 points off fourth. So these next like 2-3 games.
Well, we got Wednesday. We got Brentford, and Saturday we got Southampton. If we win those 2 games, we got 6 points.
And am I right in saying they're back-to-back home games as well?
Yeah, both at home. Advantage at Villa Park.
So what's happened is now these games, I mean, every game is important. We need to win every game that we go into. But now
Yeah.
that these 2 games now have become like, if we want any chance of trying to regain that top 4, these 2 games are a must win.
Well, obviously, they're vital.
Are you going?
I'm going to the Saturday one, yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And then I'm going to, then it's the Man City game after that one then.
Oh, nice. I'm actually making that game. I'm back in the UK, so hopefully it'd be good to
Yeah.
try and see you before the game or after or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be nice, that one.
Yeah. Cool.
And Ollie Watkins, I mean, he was very quiet. He didn't have many chances, but Aaron, did you see Watkins when he got substituted? I think he really looks frustrated. Really frustrated character at the moment.
Yeah, and I feel out of all the players, I feel sorry for him because he gives 100% every game. You know,
He
he
does.
will never stop running. He will never stop working those channels. He'll never stop trying to bully defenders. Not that other players don't work hard, but I do genuinely believe like Ollie Watkins every game. There's no game where I'm like, oh, he's not doing enough. He's always there, and I feel sorry for him because he's not getting the service. There's only so much you can make yourself as an isolated striker, and
Yeah.
because our lack of cohesiveness in the middle of the park at the minute, we're not gelling very well. Then Ollie Watkins falls victim to that, and these passes that aren't making it through, or he'll keep the ball and try and hold it up. So, and then what happens is he becomes frustrated, so he just tries to shoot or he tries to do too much and then loses the ball. And you know, I was probably being a bit harsh yesterday when I was saying just get him off because I was in the middle of a bit of a rant, but I do think he needs someone up there with him, whether that's a Duran or whether we'd stick Rodgers sort of closer to him. I don't know what it is, but he needs help up there.
And Morgan Rogers is marked out the game. He wasn't effective. And also another player which I thought didn't play very well was Yuri Tielemans, which isn't really like him. Sloppy with the ball.
Yeah, and I think Yuri Tielemans has been off it for the last 3, maybe 4. I mean, the whole team has, right? But what's frustrating is, like you say, like the levels that Tielemans was at the start of the season, and the levels that Rodgers was at, like they set the bar really high. So we're like, whoa, these guys can play, and then all of a sudden it's like they're just a shadow of their former selves. So I think there's a lot to be said for the whole squad is suffering right now, and like we always do, we've got to stick by them. But
of course,
unfortunately for them now, the games are coming thick and fast, and they don't really have time to be sort of dilly-dallying. We need to start
December, the new year. There's a lot of fixtures coming up.
Yeah. The saving grace is that, you think about when Unai Emery first came in and we were languishing down near the relegation positions after Gerrard left. Emery took us on a real good run. We had a real good journey. We ended up finishing 7th, got into Europa League. So Europa Conference League, sorry. So I do believe that we can pull a run together, and I do believe that this squad of players are capable of doing it. We just need to galvanize and get through this. So I do think these next 3 games are really important to pick up maximum points, so we've got something to build on and regain that confidence. We've got to do it now. Like there's no excuses now. We can't waste time now. We've got to go and get these points.
Yeah, we need to at least finish in European positions every season.
Yeah,
That's the expectation now.
100%. Yeah, and I'm not saying Champions League. You know, we've got to be realistic here, but I agree with
Europa
you.
League,
Europa League should be what we should be aiming
Conference
for.
League, yeah, or yeah.
Yeah, you know,
And
and
on sides, I don't know, Chelsea as well. I mean, they were great though. I mean, their counter attack, they cause us so much problems.
yeah,
With Cole Palmer and the likes of like Nicholas Jackson, not Michael Jackson.
that would be scary. Um, no, they've got frightening talent. You know, you look at the likes of Neto, you look at Madueke, Sancho. You've got João Felix on the bench. You've got obviously Nicholas Jackson up front. Um, you know, they really do have attacking threat, and Cole Palmer obviously in the middle of all of that. And I always thought that, you know, they've got all these players, and it's going to be a matter of time before they start to gel. And all it takes is a good manager to come in and just really sort of coach them and pick a decent squad out of that deep list of players. What happened to Carney Chukwuemeka? Just on while we're talking.
Yeah, although he's gone really quiet. The thing is, like they obviously signed him from Villa.
Yeah, yeah, he was sort of pushing for a move for a while, wasn't he? Got his move, and then I've not heard of him since.
He's always on the bench most of the time. Or he doesn't really get much chance.
Carney, the grass isn't always greener, my friend. Just saying.
You know what I'm saying? I personally thought it's the wrong decision for his career. But what it is at the time, though, it suited both parties.
Yeah, true.
Financially, for Villa and Chelsea.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Um, so yeah, no, Chelsea squad is good. Enzo Fernandez is good as well. And Caicedo, they've got such a good midfield in
Oh, yeah.
Fernandez and Caicedo with Palmer up there as well. It's yeah,
And Cole Palmer. I mean, Cole Palmer, his numbers are incredible. I mean, not just his goals, but he gets assists as well.
yeah. Do you know there was a stat before the game? I think we were one of 3 teams in the Premier League that Cole Palmer hadn't scored against.
All right.
Then obviously he goes and scores a worldie.
Yeah.
That was a great goal, to be
Yeah,
fair to him.
and, yeah, also then, no chance.
Yeah, I don't even think Martinez would have
Not even Martinez will say that now.
stopped that either. To be fair, so yeah, I'm just, I don't know. I'm frustrated, obviously,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
but I do think now we've got a run of games where we really have to. There's no excuses
Yeah,
now. We
no
have to win
excuses
these
now.
games, you know.
What
So
is this time of season? If you want to turn it around, now's the time to do it.
yeah. Yeah, if you remember last season when it was like this time of the year, and if we'd won so many games, we could have potentially been top of the table at Christmas. But I
Yeah.
think we bottled it to Sheffield United.
Just
It was
United, yeah.
Cameron Archer came back to haunt us, didn't he? So it's
It had to
almost
be
like
him.
we can try and reverse it now. We're on a bad run. Let's try and, like, by the end of Christmas, let's you know, let's hopefully see us coming out of this run and looking on to brighter things.
And the positive as well. Wasn't many positives, but Philogene did play well. He was very positive, I thought. A few times got past a few players. And John McGinn, he had a decent performance, especially in the second half.
Yeah, we're going to disagree on the first one. I'm sorry. I thought, and look, Philogene's a young player who's
Yep.
learning his craft, and I want to make that known that, you know, I'm not trying to bash him as such,
Yeah,
but
so.
you've been trusted now to play in this game, to start in this game. So, like, I expect more. I just feel like he holds onto the ball a bit too long. Like
Yeah,
there's a couple of times where he got the ball, and like you say, he got into good positions, and his
position
passing's
good.
not
Yeah,
terrible, but it's like I saw at one point Emery on the touchline. I think he got the ball,
yeah.
he took too long and gave it away, and Emery's there like going nuts. Like you can imagine he's just saying, "Pass quicker, quicker, quicker." Um, I and I don't. I've seen a lot of this on Twitter. This whole comparison of like, oh well, we've not replaced DRB, and Philigine's going to be. They're different players. DRB and Philogene are different. I know they're both wingers, but they're different players. So I don't want to compare him because that's unfair. But I just think, especially after seeing him against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, knowing
Yeah,
the levels that he can get to, like again,
you
just
know
like
we
we
can
said
do
with
better.
yeah, just like Rogers, Tielemans, who set the bar at the start of the season. Philogene for me, that's his bar. So when I see you on the pitch, I expect Bayern Munich level performances, man. Like you're not in the Championship no more. You've not
Get to
got
high
time to
level.
play. So yeah, I feel a bit sorry for him because he's young and he's got to learn. But equally, if Emery trusts you to put you in starting lineup, you've got to perform now. So he's got to do better for
So
me.
what it is, I think, with Infinity, I like more what he does. His defensive work, right? Just needs to work more on the attacking side of his game.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a really fair point. I can't disagree with that. I do think defensively he's very sharp and he clearly listens to what he's been told to do and tries
Yeah.
to get back and tries to help out. I do agree with that. It's just that balance then of then going forward and knowing when to make that killer pass or when
The
to cross
right
the ball.
decision.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I'm going to ask you a different question now. So we're going through a bad run at the moment. It's all about trying different things.
Yeah.
So do you think we should try something different? Maybe start Ollie Watkins and John Duran together?
Yeah. Is my answer. Honestly, at the minute, Chad, I say we've got nothing to lose apart from football matches, but we're anything that we're doing right now isn't working. So I would welcome anything if it's playing two up front, if it's going 4-4-2, if it's going five at the back. I agree. I think Watkins needs more support. So if that is Duran, to give him a start. Let's get Duran on. Let's get them
Why
both
not?
up
Yeah.
there. Even Buendia in that like number 10 role, maybe. I don't know, but someone to link with Ollie Watkins so he's not having to do all the work because at the minute he's struggling. So yeah, I would welcome that.
Go on, it is. We've got nothing to lose. Got all the way from the Juventus game last week. They were speaking on it on the radio, and Gary Thompson on BBC WM.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, you've got nothing to lose, especially the one we're playing at the moment.
It's true. Like what we're doing right now, you know, isn't working. And I know in Emery's mind, he's probably thinking, this is the philosophy and this is the way I've been playing since I've been here, and it served us so well. It's got us into the Europa Conference League, and then it's got us into the Champions League. So I can
Yeah.
understand why he doesn't want to shift so drastically to something different. But for me, the best managers out there will look at something and think, do you know what? Even if it's just for a few
Yeah.
games, just to get the confidence and the morale back up, let's just shake it up. Let's change it because right now it's not working. So I agree that we don't have anything to lose in that
Yeah.
respect.
Also, Watkins and John Duran, we know they're both proven goal scorers, and I'll give the other defenders something to think about.
Yeah, and Duran's like obviously had these sort of cameos that were coming off the bench and scoring, these winners
Yeah.
in at the start of the season, and even he's gone quiet at the minute. And I just think, yeah, there's just a real sort of like stale feeling about us at the minute. Like
Yeah.
we just need to shake it up. And I think Duran deserves a start in the Prem. I think he deserves a
He
start.
does.
I don't think Watkins needs to be dropped. So find a way to put them both in. You know, um, find a way to incorporate the two strikers or just someone next to Watkins, because right now we need something.
Yeah. And also, what do you make of Watkins getting substituted before 90 minutes? Because I think Ollie Watkins needs to be playing 90 minutes. He's our best striker.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday when I was watching it, I was sort of like, I wasn't against it because I just think no one was performing, and I was like, well, he's not doing anything. But
Yeah.
I've slept on it, and I agree. I think our best chance of getting a goal at the minute is through Ollie Watkins, like you say, and even if he doesn't score it, he can create it, or he can make the space to drag defenders away for someone else to come into. So, yeah, I think he needs to play the full 90. I don't want him to get into this mentality that he's undroppable, because I do think that we need to keep this squad, motivated and sort of second guessing. I don't want them to like think they're always going to be guaranteed starts. But yeah, it's frustrating for him because he's putting so much work in, not getting many results, then getting subbed off. So it's like, I can see that, and for a striker, you want to impact on the game by scoring goals, or making an assist. Obviously, scoring goals is better. So I think, yeah, like you said, at the minute, a very frustrated figure. So yeah, something needs to be done to help him, because the frustration then starts to, you don't want it to like filter through the team, because that's when it gets a bit
So what
toxic.
it is though, I think when you substitute him earlier on the game, you affect his confidence.
Yeah, and for him as well, he's now not just Mr. Villa. He's second to Harry Kane for England as well. So, and with Ollie Watkins, he's not an arrogant player. So I'm not trying to sit here and say that he should, because he plays for England, he should be starting and playing 90 minutes. But he's good enough, and he's not arrogant enough. I just think he should be playing more. Should be playing the full 90, especially at the minute. Like if we're winning 3-0, 4-0. It's like, what, let's rest him. We've got games coming thick and fast. Then that's fine. But when we're trying to chase a goal, it's like, but unless then we thought, well, the game's sort of dead now for us, I might as well rest Watkins a bit, save his legs maybe. That might have been his thinking. I don't know.
Also, playing Watkins and Gerrard, it gives you better movement up front. So what will happen is, with Watkins and Gerrard, they're dragging the opposition players out of position, and it gives you more aerial threat and physical presence out there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I do like Duran when he comes on, because he jumps for everything. He leap. He's got a really high leap, hasn't he? And he wins a lot of the balls. So I agree. Like those sort of balls in the air, he can win and can knock them down to Ollie Watkins. I think as well, what that would do then is invite the midfield to sort of join in a bit more. I know Tielemans tries every now and then, and Barkley can get in and around it to a point, but I think we're so defensively minded at the minute, which is great, but it's not working because we're still shipping and conceding goals. So it's like, well, why don't we give the license for a midfielder just to go a bit further forward to support those strikers? Get someone in the box a bit more.
And John Gerrard, he's very tall as well.
Yeah, he is.
Very strong.
No, yeah, he's a big lad. Look, I'm all for it, Chad. I think you're spot on with the shake-up and trying to maybe play with two strikers. I think that's a really good shout from you, and I do think we'll see it. I think we'll see it sooner rather than later. I just don't know. I don't know. Emery's so tight on his philosophy and his playing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if he does switch it up, because I think he needs to. I think it's a good sign if he does.
Well, let's talk about the referee on last Wednesday night.
Oh,
The Juventus game. But I was actually at the game.
okay.
So what did you make of the referee and that disallowed goal?
I've not been very impressed. I say impressed. Since we've been on this Champions League campaign, I've
Yep.
just felt that the refs in Europe are so different to the Prem. That's something that I didn't expect to when you start this season, you're thinking, oh, we're going to be tired or we're going to have to juggle matches. I didn't think one of the factors would be that the referees they see the game differently. Frustrating again. I thought he was poor. Is my honest assessment. I thought he was poor ref.
Would agree.
And I thought the goal at the end. Obviously, I thought it was a goal. I didn't think it should have been disallowed.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to think, if it was the other way around and it was us,
What
would
have it
I
been indeed?
would I have been saying that's a foul? Probably. So it's like, I mean, obviously we've seen them given. We have seen them given. So like,
Yeah.
I wasn't totally shocked. And on the balance of the game, we probably didn't deserve it, which is annoying to say, but it's probably the truth. But still, notwithstanding that, I thought it was a poor decision overall, and I thought the ref was bad.
Well, the referee, like, is absolute shambles. And I think, really, he lost total control of that game.
Yeah. What was it like with like the atmosphere and the fans there? Were you all sort of like turning on the ref? What was it like seeing it live?
And that all turning on the referee. And even before that decision at the end, he got booed at half time.
Did he?
That's how bad it was.
Yeah. I don't know what game he's watching or he was watching, because there was some decisions, and what really is frustrating me at the minute with these refs, we can do one thing. We can have our
Yeah,
first offense. So, like, for example, I don't know, Matty Cash can make his first tackle, and it's like, right, that's a yellow card. It's like, wait, what? It's like an innocent challenge. But then the Juventus players, or one player can make 3 or 4 fouls and not see a card. And like, it's this consistency for me that's really annoying me,
yeah,
and I don't understand what. I don't know if it's because maybe I'm watching it on TV, and after they commit the foul, the players are barking at the ref saying, "Oh, whatever, ref, do one," or what. I don't know if they're saying something for him to then be like, "Right, do you know what, yellow card?" But I don't
yeah.
see that, and it just it's almost like double standards. It's almost like, well, Juventus and these other teams have been in the Champions League for years now. They understand, but Villa, the new boys, you've got to learn. You've got to learn your
Well,
craft
with
a
the
bit.
referee, he handed out too many yellow cards. It disrupted as well the flow of the game. And I thought, really, he was really biased. I think he's a secret Juventus fan.
Nah, wouldn't be the first time Juventus have been caught in a bit of a corruption scandal, would it? Yeah, again, spot on, Chad. Like, when you start dishing out so many yellow cards, you set a precedent, which
Yep.
then makes players. It affects the flow of the game, because players are then overly cautious because they don't want to pick up another yellow card, and then also, like you just rightfully said, it
Yep.
just disrupts the game. Like, constantly blowing the whistle, not letting it play on, or not letting. Yeah, no, he was poor, and but I think the overall refereeing in the Champions League this season has been poor, and that's not just coming from we've won most of our
Yep.
games. I'm not trying to say it as an excuse. It's just, I've just found it really, really bizarre compared to the Premier
So
League.
what it is, with European, a lot of European referees, all of them seem to be appalling. And I think, really, in the Champions League, you should have the best referees. The standards have to be better.
No, they really do, and I don't know what VAR's doing as well, because there was some of those times I'm like, well, just check. If VAR just checks and has a look, use common sense and be like, actually, do you know what? No, there was no offense there. It's fine. You know, it's just really, really annoying, because then players start to accumulate yellow cards. So then, they get one yellow card in the next game and they could miss the other game, and it just becomes. It just adds to the whole frustration of of squad depth and stuff, because then you're losing players, having to use other players, and it's annoying. The refereeing's been poor, but I don't know how to go about that. I don't know what you do, what you say. I think Emery's very diplomatic in his approach with referees. You'll never hear him turn on a ref, which is fair and right. You know, he has to abide by the on-field decision, and I get that, but I would like sometimes just for him to be a bit like prickly and a bit like, what was that decision? You know what I mean? Like I don't mind a bit of that.
What you mean, yeah.
You know, he's a classy guy, so I don't need to lose the class.
Well, the actual decision, you can really see there that it was unfair. And Diego Carlos, he didn't impede the goalkeeper. That goalkeeper, he didn't even catch it. He loses control. And he missed the ball.
That's my thing as well. Like you've seen players in the past where you've seen that same incident, but you've seen players just looking at the goalkeeper. In that instance, that's fair enough. That's a foul because there's no intention to try and play the ball. Whereas, like you just said, then Carlos, when you watch it, he's just looking at the ball and he's just jumping up, and so Carlos is meant to just stand there and not jump. Like the goalkeeper's made the decision to come out, and he's jumped. And Carlos is a big guy, so he's just rolled over him. So that's all it is. And it's, again, goalkeepers and the level of protection they get is insane. It doesn't make any. Soon they're going to be corners coming in, and players are going to be told, "Well, you can't jump up for the ball now." It's like what? It's annoying.
You're gonna make it competitive because what's the point otherwise?
Yeah. Just on a side note for Juventus, I thought Morgan Rogers was really poor that game.
Yeah, I actually agree with that point. Actually, yeah.
I had him down to score, and I thought he was going to score. I thought we were going to win. And again, I say poor, and again, I have to say I say poor in the sense of he just looked tired. You know what I mean? Nothing was coming on.
We're going to go to the last point. So we've got Brentford on Wednesday. So 8:15 kickoff. So what do you expect from that game?
A very tough game. I actually spoke about this with my friend on the other pod that I do. We did a little bit on Thomas Frank and Brentford, and I really like Thomas Frank. Really like Brentford.
He's very underrated, coach.
Yeah, I think he is. I just like what they do. I like how he goes about his business. And also as well, I think teams are now thinking, we're going to Villa Park, we're playing Villa, their confidence is low. Let's go at them. Your likes of Mbeumo, Wissa, their boy who just scored a hat-trick on the weekend, Sade?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Don't know how you pronounce it. They're a threat. And they're going. The thing with Brentford is they're organised, so they're going to come to Villa Park with a plan. And you know, against a disjointed Villa team, if they just keep organised, they're going to get chances. So, I think it's going to be tough. I can see another draw. If I'm being honest, I want us to win. Obviously,
I expect a draw. I think it's going to be a draw.
Score draw.
I'm going to go 1-0. 1-0, yeah.
Who's scoring for the Villa?
You know what? I actually think John Duran.
Okay.
Going to go with that, but I think with Brentford there, they are a good side. If you look at Brentford, they score a lot of goals.
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah, they do.
They're no mugs.
They're no mugs. Look, we can get at them defensively. We can definitely get at them. We've got the firepower to get at them, and we should score goals. But I do think in these games against Brentford and then Southampton on Saturday, the onus needs to really be on keeping a clean sheet and trying to just sort out our defensive block and push on from there. Just use these games to try and get that right. But then saying that, these games are must wins really if you want any chance of being in the top four. So it's almost like we've also got to go for it. So interesting times.
We haven't really got the best record against Brentford. Was it a 3-3 draw last season?
It was either 3-3 or did we
Something
win?
like that.
Wasn't it it was the famous Ollie Watkins scored and was in the net and he was doing the old
I think it was a draw, yeah.
I think he was shushing the old. I mean, it's his old stomping ground, isn't it? And I think he was getting a bit of stick from the fans. Yeah, no, we Brentford we seem to struggle against at times, so it's going to be tough, mate. It's going to be tough. I think Brentford are going to be at it.
It's one of those guys where it's not like a definite thought they're going to win. It's not going to be like that.
No, which is weird, isn't it? Because like not that long ago, we'd be looking at this game like, yeah, this is a definite win. I can see us winning this, to keep the momentum. Whereas now it's like, I don't know.
Go and watch Brentford against Leicester City. And they played well that game.
Yeah, because they went 1-0 down as well, didn't they?
Yeah, correct. They did.
And they showed a bit of fight to come back. And yeah, tough game, organised team, good team, And also we've got a bit of a link there with obviously Ollie Watkins and Dean Smith. So yeah, I remember those championship days with the battle we used to have with Brentford. They were tough games, man. They were tough games.
So hopefully we turn it around. So are you going for a draw as well then, yeah?
Yes, I'm going to go for a draw. I really want to go for a win, but if I'm being realistic, I'm going to go for a draw.
And what about Saturday's game against Southampton?
I think we'll win that. I do think we'll win that. We should. I mean, we should win a lot of these games, but again, and nothing on Southampton because, again, they're not a bad team at all. It's no slight on them, but I do think at home as well, we should be looking to beat them.
Well, I'm going to predict a 2-1 win for that game.
Nice, 2-1. Okay, no clean sheet again.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. We don't keep clean sheets.
Oh, honestly, it'd be interesting to see if Martin or how long Martinez is out for.
Hopefully not too long.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's been a great show, Aaron. It'd be a great therapy session.
Yeah, I feel calmer now that I've sort of vented the frustration. So thank you for letting me vent.
Yeah, it's a good chat. We're going to bring this episode to a close. Thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this podcast, please remember to subscribe. If you haven't, remember to hit the like button on this video. Give this podcast a share. And leave us a good review on audio platforms. Give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple. Thank you so much, Aaron, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to wrap up this episode with Villa forever and up the Villa.